All right. Kia ora, everybody. This is Te Haunui Tuna. I'm your host. This is Creative Curiosity, podcast where we delve into creative minds, see how they tick, and get some tips for you fellas, the listeners at home. If you're creative, hopefully make you more proficient and hopefully a professional at what you do. I've got a special guest here. This is my second guest. He's one of my bros from Rotorua. Tā moko extraordinaire, one of my favourite moko artists. I've only got two favourite moko artists, and this fella is half of those two people. My brother Tawhanga. What's up, brother? How are you?
Sure, bro. No, mean.
For the people out there, bro, who don't know who you are, just give us a little background on who you are, where you come from.
Tuatahi ake. Mihi kia koutou katoa e mātaki mai ana. Mihi kia koe, brother. Nau mai ki tōku whare. Tōku tūpuna kuia e tuake ne. Hene mihi. Mihi ana kia koe tū. Kia koe hoki i Sunny. But nervous, bro.
Oh, bro. All good, my bro. All good but, to be nervous.
First podcast, but keen to crack into it.
Yeah.
But ko Tawhanga Rika ahau. He uri no te Arawa nui tonu. Ko kuhapu, ko Ngāti Rangiwuhi, Tuhaurangi Ngāti Wāhi Ao, Ngāti Umutai, Ngāti Tarawhai ono hoki. But yeah, bro, born and bred in Rotorua. I come from two paradises, I guess.
Bro, definitely.
Two villages. Definitely. I got the best of both worlds, hot and cold water.
Yeah.
I always talk about that. So one village just up the road, well, we're in it now.
Yeah.
Te Whakarewarewa. I grew up between the two villages, Te Whakarewarewa and Te Awahau. So in the summertime, we went out to Awahau, spent most of our times in the
freezing waters out there.
In the spring water. And then in the winter time, we sort of made our way back into town and
sorted all year round.
Baths every night.
Hard out.
Cooking the steam boxes.
Yeah. And we're lucky enough to have had a kite from there.
Yeah, bro. So super lucky to be brought up in this sort of environment, I guess.
Yeah. So for those of you listening, we're currently sitting in the bros' whare, and this is their homestead, is this whole area that we're at. So he grew up here, and those of you who grew up at least close to your whare, you know it's not normal to be able to literally have your whare
in your
backyard, in your literal backyard. We're not exaggerating there too. And it's a beautiful place here. There's heaps of taonga in here. Because there's photos and stuff of the bros whānau, I've set up the camera so they're a little bit blurry so you can't see them, but you can sort of get an idea of what this place looks like. And the bro was doing some moko on Sai last year, was it?
Shout out to the brother Uhiwero.
Brother Uhiwero, who is my first guest, by the way. Go check that one out after this if you're keen.
It's going to be a tough one following that.
And the bro was getting some moko from this fella, and I pretty much came to metaphorically hold the bro's hand. And then Taf brought us over here, and I remember just having our minds blown, because he was saying like, we got a whare at our house, but when you think about it, you're like, an actual whare, but it's an actual whare. And mind blowing. And just what was it like, bro? Like, what was it? Because like we were saying, it's not the average upbringing. Like, what was it like for you?
It's sort of hard for me to talk about it, because it was just a part of my life normally.
That's all you know,
Yeah, so I definitely am really grateful and blessed, and it's sort of like it's just mean to have this around me 24/7. It's definitely played a huge part of in terms of my mahitoi, my career. Like, I just, and when I need a bit of inspiration, I always come and just sit in here. Just look around, always find something different. Carving, weaving, no matter what it is, sort of, it's all around me. So it has helped me a lot, and it's just it is what it is. Like
that's all you know, And like
hard to
growing up here, bro, were there heaps like around your age, like cousins and stuff like around your age, and going on from that, how many of them sort of have done things in their life that you reckon have been influenced by this whare, or like how it's obviously affected your moko journey and all that?
So in my immediate whānau, my father, he's a carver.
Yeah,
he does whakairo. So and then there's me. I'm the eldest of 7, and so my main thing is moko.
Yeah.
And then now my sister, she's up at Te Puia. She's doing her weaving.
Look at that, man.
Raranga, so in our own sort of whānau, we've got all of that there. Shout out to the sis. There's 5 generations still alive. My great grandfather in there, koro Bob.
I didn't know it was your great. I thought it was just your koro.
Great. And that my nan that come in, she's my nan. Like,
so she's his daughter.
His daughter, yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And then my son Rotorua, he was the first of the 5th generation.
Yeah.
Generation, yeah. So on both sides, we just lost our nan on my mum's side a couple of years ago, and on both sides, I did have 5 generations.
What?
So, and not many people can say
nah,
that.
Not at all, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, just we all had kids when we were young.
Yeah.
so it's but even that's normal for me. Like, it's hard for me not to know. So, my grandparents, let alone my great grandparents, and my son's great grandparents.
Yeah, that's a big thing, because like with Sunny, because Sunny grew up just knowing one nan, just one nan, and like me, we were lucky enough to grow up, like if we weren't at our house, we were at my nan's house in Waimana, and just like you were saying, bro, like we didn't know anything else other than that, and then it wasn't until like you start getting older that you realize the things that are just normal in your life ain't normal in everyone's life, like having your elders around you and all that. So what sort of I suppose it's another one of those same questions, because that's all you know, but I suppose how special is it, like still having your great grandfather around? Because I knew my great grandmother, but she passed away when we were like real young, so I only remember that her house smelled like cigarettes and cat piss. And she had like this dog that was pretty much my brother's dog. Yeah. And but I don't remember her like well, but I remember parts about her. And another great nan actually that I think about it. But yeah, so what's it like being this age and still having your great grandfather with you?
Yeah, it's really cool just to see, bro. He's a super hard worker. Yeah. Like if I ever get to be half the man he was, I'm like, that'll be cool. But like even now, he still tries to mow the lawns. Hey. Like he won't just sit down. He's going on 88. Yeah, 88. Yeah, and like
just never stop. A
few years ago, he only just stopped running. Like he still goes for walks and stuff like that in the redwoods and stuff like that. But he's just. And then our kuia that passed away, Naniala, a few years ago. She was our queen, bro. Like she when you walked into her house, she never greeted you with a hello. She greeted you with there's a kai on the table. You know, just little things like that. It's like
all her specialties.
Yeah. It's always a kai on the table.
Bro, that's me.
Just being around that, just sort of trying to adopt doing as you see. But like big lessons I bet learned. So like from that, bro, what would be like probably like your earliest memory, since we'll start moving into like the art side of things now. What's your earliest memory, bro, of creating art? Creating art myself?
Yeah, creating art yourself.
Yeah. There's heaps, bro. Like,
and before we get there, is it gonna beat 3 Ninjas? Because that was mine.
Nah, it's real random. Like, the first one off the top of my head was like, being in primary school. Yeah. My first year being in primary school. There was a line behind me. As you know how you used to draw title pages for your...
Oh, bro, I lived for it.
Yeah. And anyway, the title, I can't remember what the title page was for. But anyway, I drew this cool-ass bird. It was just a random bird. Like, it had feathers, and it was like a tall, long, with a beak and then like wings.
Yeah.
And I remember just all the kids lining up behind me to ask me to draw it for them too. It was my first year of school. Funny, like, just random stuff like that. Like, and then I coloured it in. Each feather had a different colour, sort of. And then, like,
bird of paradise.
Yeah, it was ugly, but like, I think, that was probably my earliest.
Yeah. How old do you reckon you were?
5. Yeah,
just straight into it.
Yeah.
Bro,
it wasn't even anything like Māori or anything. It was just like a bird.
Bro, I remember, like, since we're talking about title pages, because I have not heard about title pages since I was back at school. And I remember...
that's the only like, page...
Yeah, that you cared about.
That I cared about.
The start of a term meant a new title page. Yeah. And I remember... remember those books you had when you were, like, super young in primary, like 5 to about 7 or 8? And it had that little blank space to draw, and then it had the lines, and then you had to, after the weekend, you had to draw like an illustration about what you got up to in the weekend. And there's this one memory that's just coming to me now, but it's funny. We were up at my nan's up at Arawa, and because we used to always go up. She lives in front of this hill, and there's like pine trees and manuka trees and all that on that hill. And there's also some cabbage leaf trees up there. And we went up one time. We used to just go there, chuck pine cones. And then one time someone must have brought a machete or something, but we ended up chopping some cabbage leaves and then sliding down on the pine needles. And I remember the drawing, farts crack up when I picture it. But it was me like holding on to the cabbage tree branch bit and then sliding on it, and then like having like me and my siblings having a race. Obviously me at the front winning. But bro, I remember spending like most of that whole lesson just trying to draw that picture.
Yeah.
And like when you're a kid, everyone else, like being an artist, everyone else just draws like
the stick
figures. And I remember trying to make a point of giving myself like clothes with like shape and weight to them. Yeah. Bro, that's funny. Title pages.
Yeah, hard.
And do you remember those cardboard things? Did you guys have those cardboards on your desk just to stop people from drawing on the desk? Or to stop you from drawing on the desk?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, because it must have been just at our school, but they brought it in because, kids would just draw on desks because they want to draw all the time. And then they started introducing just having cardboards and just taping it to your desk.
Yep.
And I remember, like, the same thing, bro, just putting heaps of effort in and always being gutted when some egg would come over and just draw something stupid on your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Shit, that's funny. Title pages.
Because now my son's going through the same thing.
Oh, yeah?
But, like, bro, on another level. Like,
is he?
Yeah, he's like we were, drawing birds or stick figures back then. He's drawing, like, feku, like, moko, like, he's drawing that now.
Yeah. Like proper,
he's proper, like, hard up.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
I suppose that's just the environment he grew up in, eh?
Like, yeah. Because definitely.
Growing up in the studio with you, that's all he sees, all he knows. And that was like, so like, has your dad done whakairo like your whole life? Or
so he graduated from the arts and crafts Te Puia, before the year I was born.
Oh, true.
I think.
Was that when it was just called the Institute?
He started when not the year I was born, so, and it takes 3 years.
Yeah.
When I was from 3 years old, he would have been a full-time sort of carver.
Yeah.
So
that's all you would have seen. So were you like, did you draw like that sort of stuff at school?
Yeah.
After the bird face.
Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, I don't think I was really sort of interested in that right up until about probably intermediate.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's a long... I suppose that's... Oh, nah. I thought it was going to be similar to me, but it's a little bit different. Because my dad, he was a carver too. He's still a carver now, but he...
And moko, eh?
And he hasn't done that in years. Like, I want him to get into it, but I know he probably enjoys carving more.
Ah, okay.
He's got these cool ass ideas too, bro, for like all these things he wants to do, because he does. So all the like outrageous thinking that I do comes from him.
Yeah.
Because like when I was a kid, bro, he would like draw comic books and like those sort of things, and he used to have there's this one drawing in his and my mum's room, and it was just an A4 drawing that he did when he was at high school, I think it was, and it was of Atua Māori. So it was like pretty inevitable that one of me or my siblings was going to end up doing that stuff. But like I didn't get into moko until like late high school, even though he had already started before that.
Yeah, that was probably me too.
Yeah. Probably just see it.
Yeah.
So I suppose your interest is somewhere else at that time, eh? Like graffiti.
Yeah, I went through that phase too.
Bro.
Yeah.
Mine was here too.
True.
Because we
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bro. So I came here, like 2005 and 6, and then we used to hang out at the bomb shelter.
Yeah.
And I remember meeting the bro, Kawhina, Whittingi, and I think his name at the time, his graffiti name was like Tesk or Turpin Tesk, bro. And he was like you're one of the people like Sai who I know and who I've met who have blown my mind. And he was like, probably other than my dad, was the first person that I met in my life that like whose work blew my mind.
Rings a bell, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Seen this stuff.
And I just remember like this whole time here, like I was in here for a little bit, but it shaped me like pretty heaps.
Yeah, hard.
Got into the buckness. Got into crumping and all that. Got into that.
Yeah, I went through that phase too.
Did you?
Yeah. Not hard out.
Because what high school did you go to?
Oh, so I went to primary here, Whakarewa.
Yeah.
Native school. And then in intermediate, I done my year 8. I moved to Te Kurukapu.
That's out by the railway tracks, eh?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then done my last 2 years at Okura at Rotorua Boys.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
So 6th and 7th form.
Yeah. And then I went back second year. Because, my story goes, 2011. Yeah, 2011 was supposed to be my last year.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the start of 2012, I applied to go to the carving school.
Oh, yeah.
Here, and I got denied.
Yeah.
So,
what was it? Didn't have...
Oh, I don't know. Like, it just, I don't know. I might have been too young. They didn't get back to me. Anyway, so I ended up just going back to school for hakas.
Oh, true.
Hakas, yeah. Because the year before that, 2011, I led the regionals. We won that. Yeah. And then just rolling into the nationals was,
that's a trip that's worth
I
it.
sort of shouldn't have done it, but like it was still cool. Yeah.
Was that the one that was up north?
Yeah.
That was where Ngātai Ate won, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Baron.
No. I only know that because my sister went to that school.
Oh, true.
She wasn't there yet. Yep. She started there the year after, 2013. She started there. So after they had already become champs. Yeah, boys high.
Yeah, right off the bat, that campaign was pretty dumb.
Oh, for that Nationals campaign?
Yeah, because our scripts got handed in late, so there was automatic 5 points. So
just saying. That's why we lost.
Nah.
All you orange kids out
there.
The
campaign itself was cool, but it's a bummer win.
Yeah, for something like that, eh?
Yeah.
And 5 points is heaps.
Yeah.
Especially when you get into those upper echelon when it's half a point is the difference between first and second.
And then the years I left, they won it twice in a row. Fuck. Nah.
What does that mean? Nah. Bro, I remember like talking on that. This is random, but one of the girls, who was it? I was just thinking about, I think there was someone who performed in Rotorua that first year they won nationals. And then I think they performed for a Matatini team.
Yep.
Who won?
Whangara.
Yeah, it might be.
That would have been Daryl.
Must be.
Not
And then they've...
Daryl, the leader.
Yeah.
I think she
Bro,
did.
that's nuts, bro.
Yeah, bro.
That's too much winning for at such a young age.
Yeah, in the same group, in the same year they first won, the bro, he won a schools kapaka national and the rugby.
Oh, and that.
Yeah, the world. Oh, not world. National title. So
Bro,
even that's cool.
Like,
Yeah,
too much, bro. Too much
that
fellas out
school's
there.
doing pretty mean now, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, hard
After
out.
we all left. We done all the hard yards.
That was it. Got us to the peak of that maunga for that last little dash.
Hard.
Built the foundation, eh, bro?
Yeah, definitely.
So, anyway, moving on to the start of your moko journey, bro. How did that start? Like, what were like the early phases of like, oh, I think I could start moving this way?
Yeah, so when I got denied, well, not denied, but like I didn't get accepted into the carving school, I was like, fuck, what am I going to do now? Like, that's all my life leading up to that point. I was like, that's...
All the eggs in their basket.
Yeah,
Just like,
yeah.
there's no other option.
And my uncle, he just gave me 2 of his tattoo machines.
Yeah, who's that? Hohua.
Nah, Uncle Murray.
Oh,
Uncle
Murray, yeah.
He plays a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
He's my godfather too. So,
there you go. From the get-go.
Yeah. So, but I didn't do anything with them for about 2 years.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I don't think I mustn't have been ready. Like,
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
So I just stuffed around for a couple of years. Like, I just done concerts. I went, concerts.
Performing
That's a huge thing from, here in Arawa.
Yeah.
Everyone sort of,
especially if you're right here.
99% of the people, like, kids coming out of school or even still in school, like, that's their first sort of job.
Yeah. That's their first steps into the real world, eh?
Yeah.
To adulthood.
And I sort of missed that too, like, doing concerts.
Yeah.
Anyway, where was I? So,
Uncle
stuffed
Mirror.
around
Yeah, for a couple of years. Yeah.
for a couple of years, and then it wasn't until my 2014 was my first year I actually done my first moko.
Look, that's not even long ago.
Yeah,
that's why
so
you're the
I'm
man.
on my but like I'm on my going into my sixth year, I think. End of my 5th year.
Yeah, 14. Yeah.
But like I'm super lucky again because just growing up with my uncle Murray, and then so that was all through from the end of primary school all the way through intermediate and high school. Where I was just any chance I could get to go and stay with my uncle Murray. Each holidays. For the whole holidays, the whole 2 weeks, like just drawing,
just be with him,
drawing, like just drawing, like, and just get up, eat, have a shower, just go back to draw, like, just doing the same thing the whole, not even going anywhere, just stay on the table and just draw, or on the couch or on the mattresses,
hard. And like back then, was it like? You just sit down and just draw whatever came to your head, or you just look around, or would you ask him like, "What should I draw?"
It's more so like moko, bro. Like just moko. Like I didn't have much interest in drawing anything else. Yeah. Like I'll just follow, the carvings on the wall, the kōwhaiwhai, on the heke, or just anything, and then I'll just follow like whatever my uncle drew, I drew.
Yeah, harder. Model. Yeah, people you look up to. Yeah.
And so there was 2, me and my uncle Whare. Yeah. We were always at my uncle Mary's house.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's his brother. Like, that's my mum's younger brother. Me and him. So we sort of like grew up. He was like my brother, but he's my uncle. I'm older than. You're older than. Yeah.
Technically,
yeah. So we were like brought up together like brothers. Yeah. And then just going through all that time. And then our uncle would take us to like mokuwananga and stuff like that, and just meeting meeting like heaps of different moko artists. And
were they all around here, or were they like around the motu?
Around the motu, like we would go around the motu. It wasn't until the end of intermediate into high school we started hanging out with Uncle Hua.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was over in Aussie for a bit, and then he come back, and then...
Alright. Was that when Wehi used to go with him?
Yep. And then through Uncle Hua, we met Wehi.
Yeah.
And he ended up becoming a close brother. Like, our older brother, like he was an older brother to us.
Yeah.
And then just being around them.
Yeah.
Greatness.
Like, exactly that, bro.
Yeah, just like...
No two ways about it, yeah.
Just growing up, and like, I never had a official, like, apprenticeship sort of...
Yeah. I think
it was just like through life, like growing up, I learned a lot of my
being
stuff.
with the right people.
Yeah.
In the right places.
Right environment,
Ends up feeling like just like a natural thing, that was inevitable.
Yeah. But, and then I got to meet a lot of... I want to sound like the name dropper dude,
bro,
but like...
Drop those names, bro. Drop all the names.
But yeah, I got to meet like... through Uncle Hua, I got to meet like Nari.
Yeah.
Hey, Nari.
The goat.
Massive. Got to meet him, and then got to meet like Derek Lardali and Moko.
Yeah.
They probably don't know me, but I met them.
The OGs.
I shook their hands.
Yeah. I met you.
Yeah, but like,
you may not remember.
The history and whakapapa of moko, and they play a huge role in terms of the revival and stuff like that. So you always have to pay homage to them.
Always. It's like if we were, for example, in the NBA, you can't be in the NBA and not know about like Kobe and MJ and LeBron and Will Chamberlain and Magic Johnson, like all the OGs. And really it's just a thing of just respecting what they've done. Otherwise we wouldn't literally be doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I'd say just being brought up around that, like, I'm super grateful, bro. Like, and it's helped mold me. And
then so this is just my view of it, because I know like a lot of people have all those like opportunities and like the right perfect environment and all that, and that'll take you so far, and then the rest of it is just up to you, like, because like your bros and all that other whānau who are there with you, you still have to take those steps. So I'm just saying this just for people who are listening, to recognize the space that you're in, but to not just rely on being in that right space alone. And just know that you have to, like the bro, like you were doing, like just drawing all the time, saying, it pretty much comes down to just saying yes,
and I know like a lot of people are not as fortunate to be to be around that. But I was just, I guess, the lucky one to be around that, and I'm like, that's why I have to be I guess like what I am now, sort of thing.
Harder.
Some people are not that lucky to have access to that.
Hard out. And saying that too, like for people listening, it's obvious the bro is like an outlier. Like not everyone is fortunate to have like the upbringing that like you had. Not saying that like that's the reason you're where you are, just saying it like it is, just so people don't use that as an excuse for them not to get to where they want to go. You know, because there, for as many examples of people like yourself, there are just as many, or if not more, examples of people who didn't have the perfect environment.
Because also like, because they are my uncles, and like they have their own reputation. It sort of
made it harder.
Sort of made it a bit harder. So I had to sort of build my own. Without my own reputation and stuff like that. So.
Without like feeling like you're in their shadows.
So that's a huge.
Bro, look, whatever you did, it worked. Because I remember trying to think which was the first piece of yours I seen. just like, like we live in a day and age where we're lucky to have like Instagram and all that.
Yeah.
And then one of your pieces popped up. And I remember just thinking like, who the hell is this? Because, like now, we know a few moko artists personally, and then, even more virtually through messaging and Instagram and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then because we're such a small like community, or I feel like a small community, it's always like mind blowing to see someone else that you haven't heard of somehow blow your mind. And that's what you were. And I was like, and then I started like seeing your stuff more, and it was cool because for me, like I knew that it was from these ways because I could see like some hohua little elements in there, which is natural, like growing up around that sort of style, and your Uncle Mer, and then like just seeing your stuff like break away, and then you just started doing like just out the gate stuff, and then I was just like, this fella's got it going on. And like for me, you probably get it too, like when those times you get tagged in art, or
I was just gonna say, like when you tagged me in that first thing and you're like, here's a couple of my favorite moko artists, and you tagged me, and I was, because I read it in the morning, and I was opened up my phone and tagged you, and I was like, like on the inside I was trying to be all humble, like, but I was like, because you're one of my favorite artists, bro. Not even just anyway,
and because I remember that time
that
too,
was a huge buzz just to see that you're even looking at my stuff, bro. Like
I see, and I'm trying to make more of an effort like these days to, whenever I do notice people whose efforts, whether that be creative or whatever, that I appreciate, to let them know. Like I know in the past, like I never used to, like I'll just see and just be like buzz out, just be like mean, but wouldn't say anything because I don't know, for some reason I just didn't see the value in saying just mean. But now like being more thoughtful around just letting people know, just getting like, bro, you're mean. Like,
that's cool, bro.
I like that you do this,
and I've seen that,
reason,
and I've sort of adopted that too. So.
Yeah, bro. Because like, we both know what it's like when someone who mahi you appreciate too does something back, and drops a comment.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah.
Like I think the first time that happened for me was it was in Hamilton, bro. It was back when I was doing like other tattoo styles, when I wasn't just doing moko. But it was this fella. I did this tattoo of this key, and it had like wings on it. I was pretty stoked with it. It wasn't like my usual cup of tea, but it was influenced by the style of this. What's his name? I can't remember his name. It's an American dude, but he liked it. He just liked it. He didn't even comment on it. And I remember just to myself doing it, just being like, cuss.
Yeah.
And then just
started
like,
from the bottom now.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it feels like a bit of validation, eh?
Yeah.
Not that you need validation, but
it's always good though.
Bro.
Just having other artists.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Like
that makes it a bit
too.
more special, because
Not for the like, but like just
because they know what goes into creating that sort of mahi.
Yeah.
And I think like just being an artist, like people just see end result most of the time.
Yeah.
A bit more nowadays, like when we share stories of like works in progress and that. But even then, it's still just tip of the iceberg stuff. So that other 80% or 90% of the stuff that goes into it has happened over years, know, and I suppose getting acknowledgement from like other artists you look up to feels like they're saying cheer to all those years, you know, because that's a big thing.
It pays off and all.
Yeah, hard, bro. What we were talking about before. Just went on a tangent. Good tangent, eh? I suppose I'll and drop some more. Oh, so I think you already know what the answer to this is going to be, but one of those questions that I wanted to ask you was, who are two people who have had a huge influence on you? One that you know or that you've met, and then another person that you've just observed from afar, someone that you haven't met yet, and someone who probably doesn't even know you exist. So
alive or dead?
Could be dead, bro. Alive or dead.
Whānau or non-whānau?
Nah, can be whānau or not whānau, up to you.
I suppose I'd have to say my dad. Like,
Yeah.
He gave me all my sort of foundations.
Yeah.
He let me just hautatu with everything, and just through hautatu, I learnt a lot.
Yeah.
Just watching him, I used to just sit there hours just watching him carve a piece and stuff like that, and just seeing all the process and the hard work that it goes into it.
Yeah.
And then when I got old enough, sort of, he would let me draw like one side after he's the mirror the other side, and just in little teachings like that. It's really built a good foundation for me.
Yeah.
Like I was painting kōwhawhai in primary school, bro, like for actual whare. Like,
what?
Like I'd get it growling if I went out the line or something like that. Like not a huge growling, but just pay attention sort of thing.
Focus, concentrate.
And that made me sort of that just gave me a good foundation for...
Yeah, hard.
Because I believe,
I didn't know that. That's fuzzy.
Kōwhawhai is the base of moko.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It helps a lot. So when I started getting into moko a bit more, it was easy for me to pick up the stuff that my uncle and them were drawing and stuff like that. So, and I think that sort of helped them understand me, just having that want to I can't.
I think I know what you mean. I might be saying it wrong, but they knew that time spent with you and helping you and nurturing you wasn't going to be time wasted.
Yeah.
They knew
because
how hungry you were.
Yeah, but any chance I'd get would be to, and that's a hard one too. Like one person, can I choose three? Because it'll be him, my dad, because he obviously gave me all my foundations.
Yeah, and
just he brought me up in that world. Like he just in toi Māori.
Yeah,
and he always used to take me everywhere, wherever he went, and he had a job on or something. And then the other two would be my Uncle Mur and Uncle Hoa. Not only just for moko, just in life in general.
Just as men.
They're just good kids.
And just really what I love about them too, and this is another reason that I love Sai, is as much as they know and do, they still know how to just enjoy life and just have a laugh too. They're not just serious nuts all the time.
Oh, hard, bro. There's never a dull moment when I go down to Uncle studio. There's never a dull moment. It's he's either singing or cracking a joke or something.
And that's I appreciate that when people can do that. There's time and a place to be serious and about certain things, and then the rest of the time, have fun, man.
I always go down there for a little bit of a release, because I'm the only one up in my studio, and I like being by myself, sort of. Too.
Same.
But then when I need that little bit of a laugh or something, I'll go down there. Yeah. Always a laugh, bro.
Of course. And those of you listening, you can.
That was my 3
year. Your uncle, 2 uncles and your old man. Yeah. Did you have another one?
There's heaps. There's heaps. But there's too many actually.
Yeah.
But I won't go through all of them.
I think there's a theme, and it's pretty much.
And there's heaps for different different
areas.
Different areas. Yeah. But I reckon overall, them 3 put together.
That reminds me of something that I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson. You know that fella? That American dude, African American fella, scientist. And you'll probably know him when you see him. He's got an afro and a moustache. But he said this cool thing, and it was about pretty much what you said, how people have role models. I think it was him, don't quote me, but it was about not having role models, but having principles to model from people. So like having aspects of people.
Yeah.
So for example, like when people talk about athletes, for example, and they say, oh, you're a role model, you have to walk your life in this certain way, like, you know, play good rugby, be a good person, don't do anything silly outside of rugby and all that. And then, so if you're looking at that from that lens that Neil deGrasse was talking about, it's look at the things that they're doing that you want to model, like discipline, working hard and all that. But all the other silly stuff that they do, if they do silly stuff, like disregard it. Like, don't just go, oh, I'm going to do that too because they do it.
Yeah.
You know, like, it comes down to, I don't know, thinking for yourself, I suppose. And I'm only talking about this because there are people who use that as excuses to do silly stuff. It's like, oh, this person that I look up to does that too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh,
yeah.
It's the same as that saying, like, if your mate was going to jump off a bridge, or if they told you to, would you?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think what you've done is you've just observed all these traits and habits that your uncles and your old man and other members of your family or friends or whatever display, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll do that, implement that in my life. And that was I think, was that one of the questions I was going to ask you? It was about I think it was about influence. Oh no, this is another one that I want to ask. Was I only asked this because I know I have one for myself, but what's like a mistake in the past that you've made that has ended up leading to like a mean as lesson?
Oh, that's a hard one. I've made heaps of mistakes. Like, yeah, I've definitely been humbled a lot of times. But I guess, like, off the top of my head, would be during my schooling. I can't read and write.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, not that I can't, but I'm not good at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it would be just to, I guess, apply myself back then. Yeah. To help me today. Like, I think that's a huge barrier of mine. Like, is learning, reading and writing for me. Like, because I used to have the whakaaro because I just knew from an early age that, like, I didn't want to go to uni. Or I didn't want to. What did I need these things for? Like, I'll just rely on my mahi toi and sports and everything, like physical. Like, I just sort of regret not applying myself in like, you know, English class or something like that. Where it was just all art and sports and hakas. Do you know what I mean? Like,
bro, that's similar to me for the reo. Because back at high school, I didn't do reo classes because it was the same. I was like, like, why should I do it if I already know it?
Yeah, I can learn it at home too.
Like, we already speak it anyway. And then, now that I'm older and I think back, like, I can speak reo, but it's real, like, basic, basic convo. Not obviously where I would like it to be. But, like, growing up, like, we went to Tawhanga Rika and that's all we spoke. And then went to primary school and we stopped speaking it there. And then, it's just one of those things that when you're younger, everyone's been there. You think you know more than you actually do, and you start getting a bit complacent about things, eh? You know? So I suppose it's about I don't know, like, because it's hard to think ahead when you're so young, eh? You're always just thinking of, like, now. Because
like that's a definite, like, so I don't like reading. I like looking at picture books.
like all, especially Māori kids.
I can't write to save myself. I always fall back on, like, art is my reo. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, moko is my reo. And so I just wish, because now I see you, like, like vlogging and blogging and stuff like that. Like, that's probably the reason why I haven't sort of got into that, that sort of, like, your sort of mahi with the vlogging and stuff like that. It's a huge barrier of mine. Like, I'm, like, even now, like, my reo or Pākehā and Māori, like, it's just I don't know. It's just the barrier,
bro. It's
for me.
like I definitely hear you, because it's a thing that I think a lot of people go through. anyone who's listening now who's ever considered vlogging,
A lot of Māoris go through it too.
probably
like,
agree with you.
yeah.
And that's like, for example, like, although I'm doing it like now, bro, when I started, like, my first video I did, it was when I announced my retirement, when I was gonna quit doing moko. Bro, like, took 6 takes just to get in, like, average video.
Oh, actually, bro, like your video the other day about overthinking.
Yeah, bro, yeah.
That's what made me sort of make the decision to do this.
Oh, really?
I was actually like, fuck, I'm too scared to do that. Like, and then I thought about it. I was just overthinking everything.
Yeah.
Like, and that definitely helped me, bro. That video.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, man, bro, I'm
getting
glad.
into it, just doing it, bro. Like, just doing it. Yeah,
That's because you buzzed me out when I sent that message just to ask if you were free, and like I knew the chances were super low that you would be free, especially like 2 days before.
Yeah.
And then when you messaged back, just saying, "Oh, hang on, I'll try and shuffle some things around," and then when you did, I was just like, wow.
Thanks to the bro for holding off for a day. Like,
yeah. Shouts out to the bro who was supposed to be getting his neck moko today. Really appreciate it. And
I'm actually doing a podcast, bro.
he's not at home playing the game or something, or watching movies. Yeah,
I'm
bro.
not on the jet ski.
Bro, because like on that overthinking and all that, like it still happens now, obviously. When I put that video, but it happens to varying degrees. And like, for example, whenever I make a video, like I set everything up, set the mic up, set cameras up, the lights and all that, and I sit there in front of the monitor, and then I just like sit there and just look and just like nitpick. Really, nitpicking is just me just procrastinating, bro, because I always feel a little bit nervous. And I think the only way to get better at it is to just keep doing it. It's like anything, like moko, for example.
Yeah, moko is like, that's taught me, that's probably one of the biggest lessons in moko.
Yeah. Like, what was your first experience like, bro?
Oh, I'm just talking about like making something permanent. Like just having the confidence to just
and now you're putting something on there.
back your skill and your and just doing it, bro. Like my earliest would have to be like my first moko, bro.
Yeah.
On the Brother Wirihana Te Rangi. He's that fella on in Te Piki Kōtuku, and he comes out for that mean solely.
Brother?
He was my first. We done a shoulder.
I just met him in the weekend. At regionals,
bro, mean singer. Anyway, just I'm so grateful for him.
Yeah,
because if I didn't have as great of a experience in that first time, I probably wouldn't have.
Could have.
It was make or break.
Bro. Yeah.
He was just cool as, bro. Just took it.
Yeah.
Just sat there quiet. Yeah. Just let me do my thing. And
Do you remember how long that first session was?
Must have been like, it was quite a big piece. And that's quite a tough area to do, eh?
Yeah.
Now that, like, back then I didn't even think about these sort of things, eh?
You just think skin.
I think we must have spent about 4 hours in that area, I can't remember. It was late anyway.
And because you like take your time.
Yeah.
You know, you want to do it right.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, even now, I remember, like, when I first started, I was nervous as, like, but trying to, like, pull myself together on the outside, like, and I still get, like, little, like a little rush before every
like, same. Yeah.
And that's like probably a thing I always remember.
Yeah.
It's just getting like a huge rush. And once I done that first line, I was like,
you can relax into it, eh? Yeah. I suppose it's like the beginning of a lot of things, eh?
Yeah.
Anything, and I was thinking about this yesterday, and I had, I suppose, little nightmares in my mind, like, oh, what if when we do the podcast, I just blank out and I don't know what to talk about, and then we just sit there. And then I was just like, hey, no, don't be silly. And then I was thinking, and then it started making me feel like little nerves. And then I was writing down my journal last night, because I've been journaling every night. And
do you mean for today or like?
Yeah, for today.
Oh.
Yeah, for today, yeah. Because I know...
I suppose I probably made you nervous too, because I was texting you and I was like, oh, bro, I'm scared.
I just wanted to get it right.
Yeah.
And when I was writing down, I wrote about all the things that you get like a little bit of nerves before. It's usually before things that mean something, or, you know, something big.
Oh.
Like, you never get nerves for things that are, you know, not super, super important or not super, super big to you.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get nerves to just go home, you know, it's just something that's normal. But, like, you get a little bit of nerves before jumping on stage, before doing a moko, before doing things like this, probably before you're doing interviews, those sorts of things. And I suppose even more so when you're an artist, when you don't talk much, especially if you're one of the artists who let your mahi do the talking for you. And I think that's that segues me to this other topic, which is about like using social media. And I've always, like in the past, been a believer in just letting your mahi talk for itself.
Yeah.
And then learning that sometimes you have to do some talking for your mahi too.
Yeah.
Because people won't get what you're trying to say with your mahi
that's
sometimes.
What I'm sort of the where I'm at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, I have this whakaaro of letting my mahi talk for itself.
Yeah.
But now I see, like, you fellas, like, with doing, you know, podcasting and vlogging and stuff like that. It's like it's not about, like, it's not for the money, It's like,
bro, yeah.
It's like just to show people, like, and to teach people.
Yeah, bro, I think that's probably the best way to frame it, is like to teach. And like my whakaaro on teaching and like knowledge and that, I don't know if someone taught me with something that I just identified, but it was like knowledge is to be shared, not to be kept.
Yep.
I understand there are like certain like degrees of where and who you share certain knowledge to. But for me, like all the stuff that I share and want to share, I know there is some benefit in it, like especially for our people. Like that's why I like sharing a lot of stuff about like being Māori in this world and doing the things that we do.
Yep.
And like, you know, we're lucky. Like we have, like look where we come from. Like we come from this. You look at this stuff anywhere in the world, you go, that's Māori. And we come from that. So like our foundation is super strong and super rich. You know what I mean? So we have all that stuff to draw from.
I believe I'm the richest
Very hard out
person on earth. Like, not in money, but like in culture.
Bro.
In history.
Like living and breathing it. And I think that's like the sort of message that I try and get across, is using, not using, but
it's a tool,
like understanding who you are and where you come from. And you don't have to be Māori to do this too. You can be from anywhere, but just understanding that you are more than just yourself. Like you are your parents and your siblings and your partner and your whānau friends and your tipuna and all the people who come before you. And like when you think about that, you realize like, like I'm pretty lucky. Like, who am I not to do great stuff with, you know, with what I have, you know what I mean? So like, what's your thoughts on that?
For me, like, it always goes back to that, not knowing how to read and write, like, because I feel like I can't express myself in words to give my whakaaro the full, or like what I want to say, like the full, like the full
weight of what you're trying to say, bro. That's
so that's a huge thing for me. Like, I want to give it. I just want to do it properly.
Bro. That's pretty much.
But then again, like, you just got to do it,
hard up. Like things that you're saying, it's like
that's why
it's like we're talking to ourselves.
I appreciate you, bro, because you like say what I want to say.
Like that's it.
You say it perfectly, like, for like, and I relate so much. And you just do it.
I got us. Like there was a time, because like in my lifetime, I want to be fluent in te reo, and my goal for that is to be fluent enough. Like I don't want to be like bloomin' know every single Māori word and like you know. I just want to be able to articulate myself as well as I can in English. And because I know when I can do that, I can say the things that I want to say to my kuia kraua, you know, and have them sort of feel me, you know, feel where I'm coming from. And for, you know, that's just
crossing that bridge. There's a little bit of a bridge where, you just don't.
And
that's a thing for me too.
Because another thing that I've learned too, this is probably over the last year, or that I've realised, is when I talk, I try to, if I can, frame it in a way that whatever I'm saying can be received from whoever's listening how I want it to be received, or as well as I want it to be received.
So and you do that good, my bro.
Oh, shit, my bro, thank you.
Good.
It's like how some people, for example, they're just real blunt. And like people like
that's what I don't want to be too. Like
And then there's the other side of that coin too, bro, which is people are going to receive it how they're going to receive it, whether you intended it.
You can't make everyone happy.
Exactly, bro.
But you want to try.
I think that's it. Like wanting to let people hear you, really hear what you're trying to say properly. Like an example, a couple of years ago when I did this mural, and it was received well, but there was some people that it wasn't received well by, and the reason they received it a different way was for stuff that they could see but wasn't intended to be in that painting. And that was just an example for me. It was just like,
which one was it?
It was the Hinetita Ma. Ninui Te Po one. And it was, for me, I was just
what did they say?
Said that it was like a bit sexualized. That. And then, like, I could see like, I try to, as best I can, try and see where other people come from. I could sort of see where they're coming from. But then the other side, for me, was just like, like, I didn't see that at all. I didn't see that at all until you said that.
And there were probably people that didn't know you,
Yeah, bro. Yeah, and I think that's it. And I think that's why, for me, I try to, like, when I do share stuff, to try and not put on, like, a facade. Like, people will receive things how they want to. And for me, like, that's why I try and be, like, who I am. So that if people have been following for long enough, they'll sort of understand where things come from when I say things. They'll know that I'm like, I believe, just like trying to do good stuff. Like example, like yesterday, that post that I put up to say that I was doing the podcast, like how I had like those little messages, like this fella, this fella's side, just for like, because I know that you like a laugh, Sai likes a laugh, I like having a laugh too.
Because you messaged me, I reposted that on my story, and he goes, do you reckon it's going to be mean? And I just don't.
I'm already doubting, man. You're making me feel...
Build me up. But nah.
You should have just said, you were nervous. Because he was the same, like, probably even more so than with you, because he's not like a super out there fella, like you know. He appreciates just being with his darlings, and just real homebody, does his mahi.
I'm like that too, but like, I like to go and party too. Like,
like to go socialise, hang out with the bros.
I think it's just depending on the people you're around in your environment too. That's
a big thing. Like, for us, like when we lived in Palmy, me and Sunny, we like had no mates down there, and it was just a different. I don't know, it just felt like a different world, like down there. Like not having any mates. Like I got blooming super heavy down there, and then I didn't realize how much just having like some bros, like some good bros to hang out with, like every now and then, or even just knowing that you're at home or close to home makes a big difference. What was I going to say? Oh, anyway.
Yeah, because I don't know what it's like living away from your hometown.
Exactly, bro.
And we almost got close to moving to Wellington.
Did you?
Yeah, because my partner, my darling, she's a teacher.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then she was thinking about going to teach down there.
Yeah.
And I was just freaking out, bro. Like, I didn't want to leave.
Like,
yeah.
It's never crossed my mind to leave.
Yeah. But we got whānau that live down there, my in-laws.
Yeah.
And we always go down there to visit them.
Yeah.
And I quite like the place now. Like, it's growing on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, back then I was like, no way, I'm not leaving this.
Please no.
Yeah, like I'm happy. Like
hard.
I'm working in my studios in my village, like in my home, like I'm living
and I
the
think
best life.
On that, bro, like you're another example of like probably an outlier in my mind, because there are plenty of people who don't leave home and don't do anything with themselves, like we all have
that's the other thing,
like
really.
that, and then it's always like a rare thing, I think, just from what I've noticed with people that I know. It's a rare thing to have someone who stays home or who has never left home to be doing so well. I suppose that just comes down to all those people that you're talking about before, like just the right influences.
I know I shouldn't focus on the negative things, but like when I see like on Facebook, like people like, this place is a shithole. This place, why does people want to come to Rotorua? Like, it stinks.
All those things.
I'm just like,
take offense.
To prove them wrong, bro.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Nah, I don't. Nah, I shouldn't say that, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I just,
I know what you mean, bro.
I just love my home, bro. Like, I'm just so lucky and grateful.
Hard, because I think that's like being Māori and coming from like small places, like Rotorua, like it's a city, but compared to like Auckland and all that, it's smaller and
does big things there, bro.
Does big things, bro. And you're like, you become, I suppose, like a little bit protective of your idea of that place.
Yep.
That's like, and bro, that was like exactly me. Like,
well, it's your experience you've had in that place, eh? Like,
exactly. That's why your references of this place,
which
is amazing. And like me for Waimana is amazing too. Like I remember being in Palmy, tattooing a client and asking him, I was like, bro, what was it like growing up here? Because I didn't know what it's like would be like growing up anywhere other than Waimana, like where you could just ride your bike on the road, go to the river, go eeling, just all that sort of stuff that was just normal. And then like as I grew older, and because I'm like hard out into visualizing, and like I picture things that I want to achieve in my life and making a point that I come from Waimana and that I come from a little ass place. More so just to say, like, for those of you who think that small towns can't do you any good, like they can if you wanted to. It comes down to you as the person to do something with it. And
if you look at it, it's if you do something big, it's a good story too.
Hard out, help put your town on the map. And the other day, Sunny was at the library and she saw this old newspaper clipping of this art competition that I did when I was about 10, I think.
True.
But it was just funny, like looking back and just seeing. It was just like a good reminder for myself, just like, oh, keep going. Like, don't stop. That's where you started. Keep going. Anyway.
I was looking at some of my old moko, like when I first started the other day too, and I'm like, far.
I reckon it's a good thing to do, eh?
Just
see where you came from.
Like archive all your stuff and then go back and look at it, and then hopefully you've grown from from then to here, and it's just a huge like reminder and a good thing to just look back and I'm all good.
Hard. And I think another thing too is like what some people do that I would like them not to do is like comparison. Like when you see other people who are doing like me and mahi in whatever field you're like. If you're a moko artist and you're listening to this and you look up to like the bro and you see stuff that he's doing and you feel like, oh man, like I'll never get there. Like, you know, like try not to do that, but look at his stuff and be inspired by it, and just be grateful that you are where you are, and then just work hard. Keep trying to improve.
I wouldn't say I never fully had those thoughts when I first started. I was like, but then like I remember just my uncles talking about like being unique and finding your thing, I guess. And I always had that in the back of my mind, like what can I do? Everything's been done in moko way. Like if you look at all the, you know, all the greats and then the people coming up and then and like everything's been done. So what can you do a little bit different to be noticed, And obviously you have your the people that inspire you. In my case, Uncle Ho and Uncle Muru and my dad. But like, it's just about how you gonna do it to make it your own.
Yeah, bro. And it, that was. I know what you mean. And it's that's something that I learned too. I mean, the first person to say it to me was Mr. G. We caught up with him one time in Hamilton when we were living there, and he just said like, oh, how's things, blah blah blah, and then he goes, if I can give you one piece of advice, it would be to find out your thing, the thing that makes your art unique, just to help you stand out from the crowd. And I remember at the time too, I was like painting skulls and lines and all sorts, bro. And I suppose it was me trying to experiment, find out what I liked the most.
Oh, you definitely have to experiment, like
bro, hard up. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
And then you come up like across your atua.
And then I started getting into that.
And you definitely smashed it.
And then I started being like, oh.
I was smashing it.
I could do this. And like I enjoyed it. And it was heavily influenced by...
Because it's rare you find like a Māori artist that is good at, what would you call it? Like realism?
I suppose.
Your atua style, like that's...
realism.
Cartoony, sort of like...
Probably just like non-Māori stuff,
That has that and moko, like... And that's why I reckon it really works for you. Like, because you've got that balance between... That's why I love your stuff, bro.
Nah, check my bro. That was a thing that... Like, this is not to be like whakahihi or anything, but we had to like celebrate ourselves, I reckon. And like I've talked with Sunny heaps about it too. Like,
I'm definitely getting better at that. Like I used to have that whakaro of like, you know, the old saying, kare te kumara.
Bro. Like being a blow-ass fellow. When you...
There's a way to do it,
bro, there's a way to do it. And like, time and place. Like for me, like, I know that realizing it for me helps me to realize my value. And then you realize like, oh, because this is my value or my perceived value, I can price this way, or I can do these certain things that make me a bit more unique. You know what I mean? And like, I was lucky as just to have the upbringing that I had to be able to shape all of those things. Like I didn't know. It's only in hindsight, when you look back, you go, oh, fuck, all those things that happened added up to make this amalgamation.
The bro asked me a good question, like, how do you celebrate after like doing something, you know, like maybe a moko or like, how do you celebrate? Like, because he was saying you have to, like, and when he asked me that, I was like, oh, I don't even know. Like, I just sort of look at it, chirp, and then move on. Like, I don't know.
Because we don't know how to. Yeah, bro. Oh, what was his answer?
No, he just asked me.
Oh, he just randomly asked you. Yeah. Was it like someone that you do moko on?
Matai, yeah.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah.
He was asking me heaps of hard questions. But
that's a good one.
Yeah. But like, I think we do need to celebrate our mahi. And
it's like this is talking about that humble thing again too. Like a couple of years ago, I think I came to my conclusion of humble. It might be the real one, might be just a made up one, but it's one that I I reckon sits well with me. And it's not the humble that we've been taught, because being humble is probably the biggest message that our parents have taught us, to always remain humble no matter how well or however you go in life. And the humble explanation that we sort of started to learn just from what we saw was to make yourself small, to not like for example, if you're at school and you're mean and playing guitar, and then you just feel like playing a cool song on the guitar, and people go, "Oh, what a show off!" And then being humble means not playing the guitar well, even though you can.
Like the cool thing was at school to not be a tryhard, eh?
Bro,
that
like
was
that.
the cool thing.
Like, oh, what a tryhard!
You'll
and
get
it's just like,
this for
trying
hard.
Be worse than that if I can be better than that. And then like to later, my version of humble is pretty much just like, celebrating who you are and like how well you do at things or whatever, but not being not using it to diminish other people, but still celebrate yourself. Like, don't let people go, "Oh, like you should be humble," because that's their problem. That's other people's problem, feeling insecure for some reason, because we know all those people who see people do well and then they feel a little bit insecure in themselves. And so now I suppose it comes down to that, like, how do you celebrate yourself? For me, I think it's just
have a quiet.
What do I do? It's just going, I suppose it just comes down to the thoughts you have in your head. Just going like you're mean, like I'm mean. Keep doing good mahi.
I always like look at my mahi after, like I've done it, like the photos that I've taken, like always like try and ask myself where I can get better. And where things that I've like decisions I made in that moko it worked or not, or like I'll pull back things that I maybe didn't quite work, or like add on it, or just work with that sort of
that's the main thing. It's like what is that? It's like having like a feedback session with yourself afterwards.
I always sort of do that.
I like those things. I haven't done those before.
I suppose that will be my
it will
celebrating. If that's celebrating.
And I think it like also comes down to I suppose being realistic with yourself too. Only you know how to be realistic with yourself, like not being too hard or not being too thinking that you're better than you are. But trying to realize how good you are and try and see yourself as that instead of seeing yourself worse or better. That was a cool thing that I heard, and I was like, that's a good one.
What's that called? Like constructive criticism.
And I suppose coming from yourself, if you're honest with yourself, you know what you could improve on.
I think
or what you
I'm
could
definitely my worst critic.
Bro. I think it'll always be the case, because only you know if you could have done better or not. Or if you could have done this instead
definitely.
of that. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a mean question there. Hour 15. I think we'll start probably wrapping up. But there's that.
I didn't think I could speak that long.
See, bro, like it's easy to just keep going. Just pretty much like the way Rance, he said a cool thing. He just said, just forget about the podcast and just have a convo. It's like, that's a cool one.
You definitely made me comfortable, bro.
Well, sweet man, bro. Alright, so the last part of this whole thing, bro, is so with this podcast being called Creative Curiosity, I want it to be aimed at creative people and about creative people. Well, that's where it is at the moment. I want to still grow it, but and in doing that, I want to get like some tips for people listening who follow you or who want to follow you in the footsteps that you've taken. So what are three, like if you could give 3 tips of practical advice, like things that they could actually do instead of just saying like, believe in yourself. What are like 3 tips?
I was just going to say that.
Dream big. What are like 3 practical tips for people listening who want to become either a moko artist or just and artists in general. Yeah.
Oh, first of all, I don't just want to thank you, bro. And I want to thank all my like clients over the years, and future clients, maybe, and like just for letting me do my thing, and like I wouldn't be here without you.
Yeah.
And like so three things that'll help like moko artists in general, or
Could
like
be moko artists or just artists in general. It's up to you, bro.
I'd have to go whaianga mahi o rarohenga, bro. That translates to being a good good person, like this. And it doesn't mean just being a yes man, It's like it means doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not perfect, I don't do the right thing all the time, but I try.
Yeah.
That's just with life in general.
Yeah.
Second thing would have to be believing. Second thing would have to be don't get caught up in social media.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know how you can just
Easily
scroll like
that's a deep rabbit hole. That
but use it.
Yeah.
Like how you're.
It's up to you where that rabbit hole leads.
Smashing it, bro. Yeah. Like in social media, but don't just go on to. Just don't. Don't do it for the likes and stuff.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean,
bro? Like, that's a big one. Don't do it for the likes.
Yeah, and the follows and shout out to all my followers. No, but like
yeah.
What's that? 1, 2, 3. What do I do? Draw every day.
Perfect. Bro.
Create every day, not draw. Create every day. Like, 'cause I don't draw every day, but like I try to.
Yeah.
Just get creative every day.
Yeah,
like,
hard.
And
sharpen those tools.
Ask questions. Go and be teachable, bro.
Oh,
do you know what I mean,
bro? That one hits home. Yeah. I wasn't teachable at one point.
True.
When I was young and thought I was the man.
Yeah, I think
when I was like 19.
Young. Yeah. Yep.
I was just like,
be open and teachable, bro.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Be teachable. I really liked that.
Yeah, just be and be yourself.
Yeah.
Because I definitely fell into that, like trying to be someone I'm not. Like,
yeah. Trying to do things, and really that comes down to knowing yourself. And if you don't know yourself yet, start learning about yourself.
Yeah.
Sit with yourself.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that'll be my 3. I think I've done like 5.
Bro, mean ones though. Probably the biggest one to take away from me will be that being teachable one.
Yeah, because no one wants to try and teach someone who doesn't even listen.
Be a cup that's forever got space to be filled. That one's for you, Si. Nah.
Yeah.
But me, my brother, have you got anything else to say?
What was that again? Be a cup?
Be a cup that is...
has a hole in the bottom.
Be a cup.
Oh, we'll replay that.
Be a cup that always has space to be filled.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one, bro.
Because probably say that cooler, but that's
what
we'll be at right now. 1.0 version. Me, any last words, bro, before we wrap up?
No, I just want to just thank everyone. Just thank everyone that's helped me build my career in moko, and just everyone that's in my life. Like like I said before, I'm the richest man alive.
Yeah.
Not with money, but like just with the things that I have and the people that are in my life. I'm like, there's nothing much I would change to to be here right now. No, that's pretty much it, bro. Like,
Too much, brother.
All right. Grateful.
Thank you for being on the show, my bro. Really appreciate it.
Oh, I got one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
Got a bit of a gift for you, my bro.
Oh,
The Tawhanga I made. Oh, this is another thing that I
one of the many things that the bro does. And he does it well.
Pick up, right? That I made down at Raka Jade with the brothers. I go down there as much as I can in my should I put that? Oh no, that's blurry, bro.
Oh, it'll be here, right over here.
That's for you, brother.
Bro. Thank you, my bro. See, I told you, fellas. This
Yeah,
fella's someone special.
I have to plug the bros down at Raka Jade. Follow them on Instagram. They're another huge part of my growing creatively, and that's me being curious.
Look at that.
Yeah, just
bro.
That's another new found love of mine, I guess, to carve parao.
Bro, this is ultimate.
Bone, yeah, well-being.
This is ultimate, bro. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate. This is big, bro. Like, obviously, just your time was enough for me. So yeah, thank you for this, firstly, and thank you for bringing us into your whare, bringing everyone listening and watching into your whare. I hope everybody who's listening got to get a glimpse into who you are as a person, like outside of who you are as just an artist. Shout out to everyone who's helped turn you into who you are, bro, because you're the man. You'll keep doing what you're doing, my bro. Keep being great. Keep celebrating those W's and evaluating those L's to turn them into W's. There's nothing else much I could say, but thank you, fellas, for listening. This is Creative Curiosity. My name is Te Haunui Tuna, and stay curious.
Gotta do the thumb snap, bro.
Let's go. Mean.